I ask myself, what is it I'm doing here? What's my purpose? What's it all about? I haven't got a clue. There's so many answers and there's so many questions. And we just go round and round and round. I find myself portraying things, messages. I know I'm acting. Like a poet, putting so much emotion into what he's writing. Like a musician, putting so much emotion into what they're playing, what they're singing. I do it via my articulation and my acting. I'm acting. I catch myself acting all the time. That's all I'm doing. And I ask myself, why are you acting, Aaron? Why are you doing this? You're playing as if you're in a movie. Because we are in a movie. It's all one big movie. What I think I'm doing is, I'm doing something that seems to be necessity. It seems to be important. Look at this. Isn't that something? I'm gathering information and then I'm disseminating information. So consciousness, what's consciousness doing? Consciousness is using me to gather information, to articulate it in a special way. Whenever you come across people who are good orators, they always say, I don't know where this comes from. Hitler said it. Who's this guy that talks about magic mushrooms? Terence McKenna, he said it. Krishnamurti, he said it. Stefan Molyneux, he said it. All these people that end up being really good, expressive and engaging orators, they all go, I don't know where that came from. In the beginning I was shitting myself. I never thought I had that in me. I've never shat myself about speaking. I've always been vocal and I've always been a prominent figure. I can't help thinking that something's using me. It's not of my volition. It's a compulsion. It's another addiction. Everything I do is an addiction. Everything we do must be an addiction. Ultimately, if we look at this and ask the question, what really is going on? What really is going on fundamentally, friends, is information is being gathered. That is all that is going on. The gathering of information via our brains, via the computers that we create, via consciousness itself. If we look at what the Hindus talk about, the Akashic records, all the information is out there. It's all around us, like wave bands, like Wi-Fi going through the air. It's all around us. If we had a radio and tuned in, I could tune into Radio Moscow, Radio Luxembourg, Radio Timbuktu. All those signals, all those information, they're here, now. It's all around us. It's all inside. We are only information. This is only information. Google's gathering all our information. Somewhere within these computers there is programmed a program which takes over our minds, which brings about an addiction that we just are not aware of until it's too late. I guess it's like cigarettes. One day after smoking, maybe 2-3 weeks, a month, I don't know, all of a sudden You wake up with the pains or anxiety in your chest to smoke. That's it, the addiction's got you. When it came about, why? Overnight? In one particular second? When's the transitional period? But what I'm doing now is, with this medium, I'm controlled by it to a great degree. These videos, my mind incessantly creating videos, going back to my computer, uploading them onto my site, replying to people. It's a very, very good thing in that so many people tell me that they're benefiting from it. And I'm benefiting from it also. And I enjoy it. Look, you're my company. I don't have any other company in this whole country. But I have you. And it seems it's enough. I've accepted, speaking to this camera, that I am talking to human beings. Albeit, if I question myself about the veracity of my assumption, then what am I talking to? I'm only talking to a computer. I'm talking to this computer, then I'm going to upload it to my other computer, then the bigger computer is going to disseminate my information all around the world so other computers can listen to it, and then you press on buttons, zeros and ones, text, and you respond via that. Even if I see you on a Skype, you're nothing more than a hologram. You're pixels, aren't you? Your voice isn't real, it's an interpretation. It's an interpretation of bits. Your face, it's an interpretation of bits. There's no reality to it whatsoever. And yet we accept that very, very readily. That's spooky. Paul and I were speaking last night, and he said something like, do you think there'll be a day when there'll be we'll be speaking to each other via hologram? I said, we're doing it now. If you look at what we do now, we're speaking on a two-dimensional screen. There's no depth to it. They already can make holograms three-dimensional, but the pixelation is very poor. Just imagine these holograms with vaster pixelation, just like a computer screen. There's no reason why we cannot accept that that's going to happen. That a hologram is going to be generated standing next to me, which looks and appears to be identical. When that happens, people, we have to know that the computer is our father. We are the sons and daughters of silicon chips, quantum computers. However they're going to be in the future, we're information. We've been compiled. The information within our bodies is just the same as all the information that you're looking at around. It's a different interpretation. It's a different accumulation. But it's all the same thing. There's about 94 elements in this universe that we've discovered. 94 elements. And look at all the stuff that's around us. Billions and billions of different stuff, all made out of less than 100 components. That's pretty spooky. What I asked the question regarding people, why does the human mind so readily accept when we're speaking to a computer, when we're speaking into our phone, when we're speaking on Skype, why do we readily accept all of the emotions that pertain exactly to a human being? There's got to be a reason for that. It's because what we see on the computer and see on the phone is exactly the same essence as what we are in this reality. Computer generated. This is why there's no difference. When I speak to my daughter, I feel the same love and devotion to her on that screen as I do if I'm standing in front of her. If I have a heated conversation with somebody on Skype, which incidentally has never happened, but if I did, we'd both be feeling this agitation and this anger and frustration at what? At a human being? No. At the interpretation. At the interpretation of vibration. the interpretation of photons bouncing off something, coming down, not even coming down a line anymore, coming through the air. It's just floating through the air. You and I, we're floating through the air. All the information on this planet is just floating through the air. So when the Hindus talk about the Akashic records, can you see what they're on about now? All these things, they just pertain to the same thing. The information is all around. Every single thing, whether it appears to be solid or not, is just information. And it can make manifest in so many different ways. And we can interpret it in so many different ways. Just look at the simple thing like a car. We say, that's a car. What are we talking about? If we say, really, what is it? Well, it's steel, it's plastic, it's leather, it's aluminium, it's upholstery, it's a million different things. So is it a car then? You just called it car for simplicity, haven't you? You just created a concept, of course. But what is it? All of these components, at some stage, they were in the ground in a different form. Just like we were, in the ground in a different form. What happens? Our mother eats the produce of this earth, turns it into us. What the fuck? Engineers gather all these resources, digging it out the ground, oil, iron, copper, lead, zinc, anything like this, turn it into a car or a plane. It's the same stuff. It's all the same stuff, just vibrating atoms that don't exist. I'm getting really deep again of late. I'm going into another arena. And when I look at like yesterday's video, a great change is coming about if you want it. I'm like, what? I'm going even deeper now? That's what I appear to be driving towards. That's what I appear to have no control over. If I'm going to go through some great changes, what, I'm just going to pack my computer away and never do that again? It's not doable. I'm too far in. So am I going to go on to a higher level? Is my site just going to take off? Are people going to start inviting me around the world to join into philosophical debates? Is that what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Am I going to meet someone that's going to change my life? All I can do as consciousness is follow this body around. Because this body is automata, and it's driven by overwhelming desires. Like, I've been out into the township this morning to do a little errand, and I'm racing inside. I've got to get back, I've got to get back, I've got to get back. Get back to where? Get back to this. Get back to this beach before it's too late. What do you mean it's too late? It's only 10 o'clock. Yeah, but the time is running out. Time's running out. No, it's not. I just had this urgency to get back here, home. I'm here now. I'm here. I've gone into the bliss. It's nice in the town, but here I lose myself. Or do I? I get captivated. I'm captivated by this energy that's working through me to do what I'm doing now. What's happening? Free will. If you look at me and think, what's this guy doing? I don't know. If you look at me and think, where's Aaron going in his life? I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know any more than the next man looking bewildered at me. I look at myself bewildered. All I can be grateful about is that I'm in a level of great peace and awe and excitement and happiness. That is my payback. Thank you, universe, for giving me that. If you keep giving me that, I'm more than happy, 24 hours a day, to be your slave. to interpret this world and to promulgate whatever it is you want me to say. This is it. I don't know. From the next day, all of a sudden I just get boof, boof, boof. Talk about this, talk about that, talk about something else. Okay. And then off we go. Grab my camera, I'm on my way. I'm going up into these wooded areas now. Look, you can't hear a single thing other than the ocean. The birds, a little bit of the wind. That is very, very settling. It's amazing how settling it is, and you wouldn't realise it until you're in it. When you're in it, you go, what's going on? Something's going on. Some fucked up shit going on here. When you're used to constant noise, it becomes uncanny. It scares you. I was in Australia 20 odd years ago with the mother of my daughter, and we was out in these sand dunes in this ancient Aboriginal sacred ground. Massive, massive sand dunes, and we were climbing up and running all around everything, and then all of a sudden we stopped. We looked around for miles and miles. We drove there for miles. Nobody around. No civilization, nothing. We looked at each other. We went, can you feel that? She said, yeah. I said, let's get the fuck out of here. Later, I interpreted it as being some sort of spirit entity, because it was an Aboriginal burial ground, apparently. And maybe it's telling us, you shouldn't be here. But what I think it was really, it was the fact that we'd never experienced that level of peace before. Probably never ever. It was an absolutely windless day. Sun beaming down. All of a sudden, not a single sound. We have to get used to that, because when you get used to that and lose your fear about it, it's a beautiful place. It's the most beautiful thing you can ever attain. When you feel healthy, when there's no pain, no anxiety, just pure bliss in this world, that's heaven. I'll cut this video now, people, because I could talk all day, it seems.